Good morning, everyone. So I'm right now in Port McNeill. So today the plan is I'm gonna go have breakfast. Then afterwards I'll be going to Telegraph Cove, and then over there. So there will be a whale watching tour that I'm gonna participate, and that company has operations in Vancouver and Victoria. Yeah, so we'll see if we're gonna see a lot of whales today. If you remember in the Manitoba series, I joined a tour for polar bear watching, and it turned out to be fantastic. So during that particular tour, we saw 28 different polar bears in one day. So in case you haven't checked out our Manitoba series and that episode, I'm gonna drop the link to the polar bear watching episode in the description box. And yeah, make sure you subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. We're gonna have more amazing contents coming up.
Well, I didn't expect the breakfast to be this heavy. But the good thing was that the tour I participated claimed that there would be drinks and snacks on board, which didn't happen at all due to the health restrictions brought to you part by the global event of 2020. In other words, that heavy breakfast, or should I say brunch, saved my day.
Keep bears wild. I'm just curious, are there really any people who come here to feed the bears? Because I can tell you, I wouldn't. Okay, never mind. Yeah, after reading the sign, I think basically talking about leaving your food out in the open, so bears would just come and help themselves. Yeah, so when you're in the wild, make sure keep your food safe and do not just leave it unattended, because it's bad for you and it's bad for the bear.
After around 30 minutes of driving from Port McNeill, I arrived at Telegraph Cove. Don't let photos from tourist brochures fool you. Telegraph Cove is certainly not a random small fishing village hidden on Vancouver Island. I mean, have you ever thought that the first thing you need to do upon entering this village was paying for parking? To be fair, Telegraph Cove today is part of the Telegraph Cove Resort and Marina. And for those of you who love a small fishing village experience, be prepared and be disappointed.
So folks, I'm right now at the Telegraph Cove. I'm right now just waiting for the tour to start. But before that, I'm just gonna take a walk around and see what this place has to offer.
To be honest, for everybody else, Telegraph Cove isn't bad at all for an admission-paying tourist attraction. The views are amazing, and there are a lot of things you can do there.
Yeah, so the Telegraph Cove is consisted of a couple resorts, and there's a lot of activities you can do. Yeah, for those of you who are just here to do some sightseeing without doing any tours or activities, yeah, keep in mind that everywhere in this area they charge a parking fee. So make sure, yeah, you pay attention to that before somebody tow your car.
People might ask, why is this place called Telegraph Cove? Well, back in the days when telegraphs were still the only way to send messages fast, this little cove was the northernmost terminus of the telegraph line on Vancouver Island. Funny how time has changed, huh?
The water is so clear.
After checking in with the whale watching company, I still had some time to spare. I took a walk in the former living quarters of the once living Telegraph Cove. Some of the houses, like the floating hospital, were preserved, whereas others were converted into resort facilities. Right before I boarded the boat, I heard that people from the previous tour didn't see a single whale after traveling all these kilometers and paying all this kind of money.
So yeah, so anyone who didn't get a chance to see the whales, so this company will reschedule people from that specific tour automatically into the next available or any of the future ones. Yeah, so we'll see today. I'm gonna have any luck.
You know what? I don't really care. There isn't really any guarantee to anything, especially in terms of wildlife watching. If I don't see anything, that's okay. I'll nonetheless make a video of it, and then you know that Telegraph Cove is a bad place for whale watching. Alright, enough talking. We'll see if that's actually the case first. Regardless of whether you're gonna see whales or not, boat trips are extremely windy and cold even on a nice day. Be prepared. Yeah, that was our first sighting of a group of orcas, after spending over 30 minutes on a boat. Other than that, we didn't see anything else. Knowing that this was a 3-hour tour, we were far from over. Well, all I could do was having the fingers crossed and hope that more whales will appear. A blackhead suddenly popped up the surface. I thought it was another orca, but it was only a seal. An hour had already passed, but we saw nothing exciting yet. I guess I'll just show you more of the west coast scenery of northern Vancouver Island. I think I see something in the distance. Could it be? No, not really. Suddenly we saw a group of seabirds flying around a surge of mist in the middle of the water. Wait, could it be? In our ecosystem, many species work together to hunt. In this case, wherever whales go, it's normally a signal that there is fish. The birds, who also rely on hunting on fish in the ocean, usually aren't really that far away either. Oh, did I mention that there were many fishing boats very close by as well? Someone must reported the location of the whales on marine radio. Suddenly, a number of boats approached the two whales. Meanwhile, our boat moved on. It was halfway through the tour that we finally got a chance to see some whales in action. That might be it. Or it might be the beginning. Nobody knows. Then we got closer to an island. A family was sitting by the shore watching a whale nearby. Seriously, if I knew you could see the whale this way, I wouldn't have signed up this tour at all. At least the family didn't have to worry about motion sickness like I did. It was already close to the end of the 3-hour tour, but we ended up seeing more whales. Maybe the whales were sleeping in because they partied really hard the night before. I kinda felt sorry for those who didn't see any whales in the morning. It's funny how even our tour went from almost whaleless in the first half of the tour to seeing a couple in the second half of the tour. During my stay in the Port McNeill area, I spoke to many locals about the whales. It turned out that in our ecosystem, not only do animals rely on each other to get food, but their very own existence also relies on the actions of one another. Back in the days when the fish population was healthy and plenty, there were far more whales and animals like bald eagles living in northern Vancouver Island region. However, as massive commercial fishing took place, not only did the population of the fish diminish, the number of the whales and other species dropped significantly as well. In the end, fishermen lost their jobs because there were no fish. The presence of species like whales, seals, and bald eagles became less common as well. Guess what? The tourism industry suffered too, because people came all the way here and paid all the money, but many, like the tour group in the morning, ended up seeing nothing, which led to tour companies making extra accommodations like offering additional free tours or providing refunds. While I was seeing all of the whales I saw, I also had a deeper understanding of the nature around us. A healthy ecosystem is good for everybody and every single animal and plant species. Profit-driven industries might bring money in a short time, but in the long term, it does far more damages than the benefits of the quick money earned at the beginning. The easiest thing to say, yet the hardest thing to do, is maintaining this subtle balance in our ecosystem. On our way back to Telegraph Cove, the biggest surprise came. A whale came very close to our boat and did a beautiful flip to conclude our whale watching tour. Nearby, there were kayakers waving at us. Hey, who said whale watching experiences can be eco-friendly? Other than the orca family in the beginning, which you couldn't really see without binocular or long-range camera lens, we saw 7 different whales during the 3-hour tour. Not as many as expected, but still better than nothing. In Churchill, Manitoba, I once witnessed hundreds of beluga whales flipping all in one picture. Hey, at least the route we traveled this time was interesting. If you think this is the highlight of our Vancouver Island trip, you're probably wrong. In the next episode, I'll show you what I think to be the true highlight of Vancouver Island. Well, it's actually a small island off the coast of Vancouver Island. Stay tuned. on the site of a former Indian residential school.